Welcome back to Daytime Live. Now we are celebrating the life of one of the most iconic pieces, masters of music, but we're looking at another aspect of his life. We're talking about Jamaican cinema and him as an actor. Now this movie everybody knows, The Harder They Come. It was released in 1972. The film just didn't introduce the world to reggae, it captured the grit, ambition and rebellion of a changing Jamaica. Joining us now is Justine Hensel. She's the daughter of the film's producer and director, Perry Hensel, to help us understand Jimmy Cliff's impact as an actor, his transformation into Ivan, and how this film shaped Jamaica's cultural identity. Welcome to Daytime Live.
Good afternoon, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm down here in Treasure Beach rebuilding, so forgive the fact that I'm not in studio with you. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. How are you? How is it? How is it down there?
You know, we are an amazing people. Everybody is just busying themselves, putting things back together. You know, right now we're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for progress, and we're definitely getting lots of progress every day.
Awesome. We're going to talk about Jimmy Cliff a little bit now because your dad decided that, you know what, I want somebody to star in this film, and I think Jimmy is the person for that. What was his reasoning? How did he imagine that Jimmy could be able to bring out this character to life the way he portrayed it, or he would have wanted it to be portrayed?
It's actually a very interesting casting story, because my father looked at an album cover of Jimmy's, and on one side, Jimmy looked like a lover, dreamer type, and on the other side, he looked like a rebel. And Perry looked at this and he's like, well, if a man can convey these two characters in a still photograph, he'll be able to do that on screen. And he was absolutely right. Even though Jimmy had never acted before, it was like he was made for the screen. His intensity just shines through.
When you say a picture is worth 1,000 words, it's literally, its album cover is the very definition of that. But an actor without formal training, what was Jimmy's strengths that you could say, hey, he's really good at this?
Boy, you know, remember Jimmy was born in Somerton, St. James.
Right.
So he was a country boy who came to town, which mirrors Ivan's story. So there was a lot of his personal experiences that he drew on, not the fact that Jimmy was at all an outlaw or a criminal. Of course, that never entered into it. But the feeling of being a fish out of water, the feeling of coming into the big city, thinking that, you know, anything is possible and going after your dream, which is what Jimmy Cliff, the man, did, and what Ivan, the character, aimed to do. They went, of course, in very different directions in real life, but he was able to channel his personal experiences. And what Perry was really good at, he was an actor's director, and nobody in this film was trained. Everybody was just cast for their personality and their potential. So Perry worked with each actor and he said, this is the scene, this is what the character needs to achieve in this scene, and then he let them go for it. And what was brilliant is how the collaboration between Jimmy Cliff and Perry Hensel worked to make movie magic.
Right, and that magic has been living on for decades, because when you think of Jamaican films, I think this one probably tops the list of one of the greatest films to ever come out of this country. How does Dad, or how did Dad feel about that, and how do you feel about that, knowing that, yeah, my dad did that, you know, I'm a part of this legacy?
Well, you know, you can never be the first again. Right? So Harder They Come was Jamaica's first ever feature film. The first time that people could sit in Carib and not watch a Western or a Kickers. This was Jamaicans on screen. This was Jamaicans talking Jamaican, right? This was the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of our complexity. This wasn't calypso or rumba on the beach under a palm tree. This was real life. And the response in Jamaica was incredible. It took a long time for it to get distribution globally, but it earned a cult following, and soon it was playing at small art house theaters all over. It was actually the first film recorded in English to have English subtitles. So it broke many different barriers, that being one of them.
Quickly, we do have a lot of time left. I would like for you to let me know, when the younger generation, a new generation, is exposed to this movie, The Harder They Come, what are their reactions like?
They're like, how come I never knew about this? And after they get over that, they're like, oh, but I know all the songs.
Right.
And then they usually, I love it. I love it when people discover the film, because then they're like, but look at the style, look at the swagger. Rude Boy, oh, that's where Rude Boy come from. And so they make all these connections. And they think, they're the first person to ever make that connection. But it's great, it's cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Keep on keeping your father's legacy alive. And of course, the involvement of Jimmy Cliff, who turned out to become a global icon. Thank you for sharing with us right here in Daytime
We
Live.
could have done it without Jimmy. Jimmy is a master, he's a legend, he's an icon, and he has left a huge void that can never be filled.
True that.
Be safe. Keep the work going over there.
Justine Hensel, their daughter of films, producer and director Perry Hensel.